All right. Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday, you guys. Oh, I'm so happy to be back. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Welcome back, Karla. Back to life. Back to reality, right? Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday, you guys. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. Can I tell you how much I missed all of you? Hi, Michelle. Hello from Miami. Hola, Diego. Yeah, let me know where you guys are calling in from. Hello, Diego Peralta. Nice. I have a friend, last name is Peralta. Well, you guys, hello. Yes, Michelle, welcome back. So, you guys, I am so happy to be back. And I wanted to hop on here really quick because my husband took Sebastian, which means I have the house all to myself, which means I can actually focus on doing a live with you guys. So, I wanted to hop on here because yesterday we had an amazing supervisor training call. And one of the things that I really got present to, and that is that, and maybe if you want to take notes or just put note on this on in your mindset, and that is that no matter what, okay, whether things are going well or things are not going well, when you want to catch momentum and when you want to see progress, there's nothing like going back to the basics. And, so many times I feel that many of us, we want the new thing. And that's really great, right? We want to have the new and the latest phone and all these other things that we want to have as the new and the newest and the latest, right? Which is fantastic. But there are some things that you just cannot get away from. And that is like the basics of everything. So let me give you an example, okay? If you're an athlete, so many times maybe you're like, okay, I want to do this new XYZ move, or I want to do these new crazy like workouts or whatever. And that's fine to give it variety, to give your workouts variety, to give your mindset variety. But no matter what, you can never get away from the basics. Like if you really want to improve that thing that you're doing, you cannot get away from the basics. So one of the things that I love to do is I love to watch Netflix programs or any documentaries that have, especially of athletes or people that have achieved success. And I can honestly tell you, I would challenge anyone to find one that doesn't say this. And that is that whenever, my kid is home, so we'll see how that goes. That whenever they want to improve that thing, whether it's basketball or whatever, they got to get back to the basics. So, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, all of them, they're known to have worked really hard to stay back for extra practice and to do the basics over and over and over and over again. So last night, talking about business, okay? Last night we had our supervisor call and Carmen was talking about how important it is for you to pivot. When things are not going the way that you want them to go, or when things are changing, or like the world today, it's June 15th. Today, the world opened again, meaning at least here in California. Okay, I know other places have opened before, but California, we're a little behind on everything. Here, you no longer have to wear a mask. All the restrictions were lifted today, right? So now that we're going back to normality, which it's not normal anymore, right? But whatever normal is, she was talking about how important it is for us to, number one, anticipate the new change and to pivot whatever you need to pivot to adapt. And I'm going to tell you something. If you're listening on here and you're a business owner, one of the biggest things that has one of them, okay, there's other factors, but one of the biggest things that have business owners especially lose their position in the marketplace is their inability to adapt and their inability to anticipate. So if you as a business owner can anticipate the changes and you can adapt accordingly, you're going to have a winning hand over those businesses or those people that don't anticipate and that don't adapt and that are aferrados. I don't know how you say that in English. That are how do you say aferrados in English? Does anybody know? Hi, Emma. That are stubborn, that don't want to change, that are like, this is the way I've always done it. Well, guess what? If you don't adapt, if you don't change with the times, like for example, some people refuse to use social media as an example. Well, for those people that refuse to use social media, guess what? Your business is going to suffer a little bit, and or it's not going to grow as fast as it could if you anticipated and adapted. Oh, I'm glad you guys missed me. I missed you guys too. So I wanted to hop on here really quick because I wanted to encourage each and every one of you. We're in June. We're actually exactly in the middle of the year. It's June 15th, right? Now, if you get all technical with the 31st and all that kind of stuff, but relatively speaking, we're like right in the middle of the year. And the question I have for all of us, and I ask myself this too, is how are we doing? How are we doing with our goals? How are we doing with our personal goals? Like physically, how are you doing? With your spiritual goals, are you more connected with yourself? Are you listening to your intuition? Are you listening to your gut? Or are you constantly having other people tell you, or wanting other people to tell you what to do, how to do it, and not trusting your own intuition? How are you doing with your relationships? Like, are you investing time in your intimate relationships with your children, your husband, your spouse, your significant other, your mother, your father, whatever, whoever is important to you? Because I'll tell you one thing, there's this couple that I really love to watch. I know that they're not perfect. I know that they don't have they don't have a perfect life, because nobody does. But I really admire how much how much effort they invest in having time for themselves. Like for him, especially, he kind of sets this rule in the relationship. Yes, the guy actually sets a rule, and I'll tell you why he does it in a minute. He sets a rule that he has a date night with his wife every single week. Every single week, he has a date night. And he actually coaches elite men. And part of his requirement for them to work with him, amongst other things, the man has to take his wife out on a date once a week, every single week. And the reason, yes, one of it is to invest in their relationship and to make sure that their relationship is solid and their marriage and all that other stuff. But the other reason is because he shares, and I have to say, I completely agree. So let me know if you agree or don't agree with this, that really happy in your intimate relationship, that you're not really happy. That if you're not fulfilled in your intimate relationship, your life is missing something. And that impacts the bottom line of their business. And I honestly have to say, I cannot agree more with that. So, so one of the things that he says is like, whenever he coaches men, the men will argue with him. Like, no, my home life doesn't affect my business. And he always challenges them. He's like, BS. Your home life dramatically influences the bottom line in your business. Because if you are not whole and complete, if you are not like good in that area, that impacts the way you show up in your business. And a lot of men have argued with him, like saying, nope, I can completely when I go into the office, but he's like, yeah, maybe you could, but you're not showing up as your best self. If you are happy in your home, especially with your significant other, aka their wife or partners, okay? If you have a strong physical, emotional, sexual, everything relationship with your significant other at home, and things are good at home with your kids and all that stuff, it's going to show up in your business. You're going to come more excited, more energetic, more alive, more full of life, okay? Because you feel complete. And I have to tell you, I cannot agree with that more. So that's one of the things that he makes sure. He's like, yes, I do it because I love my wife. I do it because I want to have an amazing marriage. And I know that like anything else in life, I was telling Sergio this the other day. I'm like, I heard his name is Garrett. I'm like, I heard Garrett say that, how many, and this is no judgment, like if you need to get divorced, because you, whatever, like no judgment, okay? But he was saying like how many couples, okay? Again, he coaches elite businessmen only, okay? So he's like, how many couples give up on their marriage but they fight like no other in their business. And then he said, imagine, and he was telling the men this, imagine if you could, just the way you give it your all, just the way you fight for your business, just the way you're willing to go all out for your business. If you were to take that into your personal life, into your relationship with your spouse, how amazing would society be? We wouldn't have as many divorces because people would, for a business, what do you do when things go down? Okay, what do you do when sales go down? You figure things out. You're like, okay, what can I do? What can I do? What promotions can I put on? What things do I need to do? How much training? You start to figure things out. But when it comes to our relationships, why are we not like that? Why are we like, and I have my own reasons why I think we're like that, but the idea behind it all is, imagine if we took, at least for me, right? I would, like, when the whole pandemic thing hit, all I kept thinking was, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What should I do? What can I do? What am I going to do? What can I do? What am I going to do? That's all I kept thinking about when the pandemic hit. And I found a solution, and I adapted, right? And I pivoted to make my business thrive. Imagine doing that in your relationship. Imagine doing that with your body. Imagine doing that in other areas of your life, right? Now, I'll tell you my personal philosophy, I think why, at least for me, why I have such an easy time doing it with my business is because that's something I can control. Like, I have complete 100% control on that because it's just me. But when it comes to relationships, like, you cannot control the other person, right? And so I think, like, at least for me, over here, it's like, if I do X, Y, Z, I'm going to get this result. And with the relationship, whether it's the relationship with your body, the relationship with yourself, the relationship with your significant other, the relationship with your children, the relationship with your parents, over here, you might give it, and it might not give back what you thought it would. And so we get disappointed, right? At least I do, okay? Just to be super real. But over here, I'm like, I know I do X, Y, Z. I'm going to get this result. And over here, I'm like, I'm doing X, Y, Z. That wasn't the result I was supposed to get. So we have a tendency to give up, okay? To give up on our bodies, to give up on our spirituality, to give up on our relationships with our significant others, our friends, or in this case, our distributors, for those of us who are in the business. So you start to give up because you don't get back exactly what you thought you would. But here's the thing, and this is something that I have learned, okay, throughout the years, and that is that you don't always get it back the way you think. It's not going to look the way you think it's going to look. And if you can let go of that, like, it's amazing what can happen. So many times we think, like, this is how it's going to come back. This is how it's going to look. And it doesn't come back, and it doesn't look that way. And so if you can just let that go, and I'm going to say this, and I'm telling this to myself, and trust the process. Trust the process. Things will come to you as they should, right? And as you've been manifesting them. So I don't know how I got on top that little subject about relationships. But anyway, so we're halfway through the year. So, like, how are you doing with your body? How are you doing with your spirituality? How are you doing with your relationships? How are you doing? One of the best lessons I've learned. What is that, babe? What is one of the best lessons you've learned? Tell me. With your relationships. And how are you doing with your business? Are you where you thought you would be? I can honestly tell you no. Like, things got a little different things went different than I thought they would, right? Things have pivoted. Hablaste de esto porque yo tenía, good. So, I'm glad that this is helping some of you guys. But, we're halfway through the year, and I have to tell you, like, I'm not disappointed, but I know I could have done better, right? I'm not, like, beating myself up. But, I definitely know that there's room for improvement, and there's opportunities that I could definitely take on in my life, okay? So not expecting the results or things to come back the same way I wanted them to. I know, girl. That is probably one of the most difficult things. And I'm going to end this live with this. One of the biggest things that I'm going to encourage all of us, especially those of you who want something better in your life, and that is that trust your gut instinct. Like, trust yourself. Trust that things are working out for you as they should. Trust that, okay? Trust that things are working out. And if, like, I don't know if you ever feel this, but like you want to come this way, you want to go this direction, and you're like, something tells me that maybe I should go this way. Even though the instructions say this way, something tells me I should go this way, okay? Listen to your gut. Listen to your gut. Listen to that, because what ends up happening is, thank you. What ends up happening is there's some, especially if you've been meditating, especially if you've been doing things to, like, come within, you need to know that there is something that's guiding you, okay? And if you just stop and meditate and just pause for a second, right, you will listen to what is your next step. But when we're always on the move, and look, I'm guilty of it too, okay? But we're always on the move, we're always on the go. What ends up happening is you don't have time to listen to that inner voice, okay? So we're halfway through the year, you guys. Missed your, I'm glad. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys like them. So, we're halfway through the year. My recommendation, and I'm going to take this on as well, okay, is to take a moment to reflect on how your year has been going thus far. I will tell you, my personal observation is that there are a lot of distractions right now. The world is opening again. Graduations were like up and going again. So a lot of people have been very distracted, and they're legitimate distractions, right? Which is fantastic. But here's the thing, right? Like, okay, they're done. Like, for example, I went on vacation. We try to go always the beginning of the month, okay? That's a big lesson for those of you guys in Herbalife, okay? Going in the beginning of the month, and now we're back, okay? Now it's time to grind, it's time to go, it's time to get back into the hustle, it's time to keep going, okay? I was still working when I was on vacation, because that's what's so beautiful about what we do, is that as long as I have Wi-Fi, I can operate my business, okay? So I didn't have Wi-Fi all the time, but I had a lot of it most of the time. So, that's what's so great about what we do. So don't take what you have in your hands lightly, because you never know when it can all go away, okay? So I am going to invite you to take some time, okay? And I'm going to do this too. Take some time. If you do, take a screenshot, okay, or take a picture of it, and then you can erase what you're writing and send it to me, DM it to me, okay? Just take some time to reflect on how your year has been going and look at it like, okay, what changes do I need to make? Okay, that was when my big wake up call this morning. I took a little 20-minute jog. I did not want to work out, okay, but I was like, Karla, just sweat at least for 20 minutes. And as I was running, that came to my mind. I'm like, you know what? I need to sit down and I need to think. How am I doing with my body? What are the good things that I've done well? I got to keep doing. And what are the things I need to change? And what are the things I need to improve on? So what's my plan of action to change them in all areas of my life? Well, for me, it's 4. And that's my body, my spirituality, my relationships, and my career. Okay, my business. So I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to put it on my story. Okay, so you guys can see. I'm going to do that today, because I don't want another month to go by with having the same. I don't want to, I've been telling you guys, I'm not where I want to be since March. Okay, hello, Karla, get it together. What is it going to be? Like December, and be like, okay, this year didn't go as I planned. Now, it's never going to go as you planned, but I think you get it, right? Like, we're making progress at least, okay? For example, did you say you were going to get in the best shape of your life in 2021? How's that going? Okay? Did you say you were going to save more money in 2021? How's that going? So all these things, you really need to take some time to think, how am I doing? Reflect and adjust, okay? And then implement and take action on those things that need to change, and do more of the things that are doing well. Because again, you guys, it all goes back down to the basics. Okay, sometimes we want these crazy things to have. I'm glad it's being a reality check. Es un buen mantenernos en acción, pero es importante tomar tiempo para la reflexión. Exactly, right? It's good to be in action, but it's important to take some time to reflect. Otherwise, you're just working. You don't even know if it's making any sense. But anyway, so, let's take some time to think about that, and let's make some adjustments. So that way it's not December and you're not like, okay, well, there goes another year, right? So I hope you guys found that helpful. If you did, go ahead and share it with somebody. And I hope that you guys take some time to really, really, really look at, how things are going, because we are literally halfway through the year. All right, you guys, have a blessed week, and we'll see you guys later.